welcome, my dear friends. Welcome to another daily dose of red pill truth about trading with your truly Morpheus in the house. Again, trying to give you guys a boost in understanding what is available, how things work, how the system is governed, how you can, I don't know, kind of within the system, do what you do to make money. Um, all right, let's see. My boy Henry is in the house. I think Donald's going to be joining us in a little bit as well. Chats are open for anybody who's coming across. There's my boy Donald. All right, chats are open for anybody who is, might be coming through the screen accidentally, or just scrolling through. The idea is that you can trade from anywhere in the world, um, make money anywhere in the world, and essentially what we're doing here is clarifying what kind of things you need to consider um, to trade without luck, to trade with logics, math, statistics. So all of these things are presented in these streams. If maybe are curious about side income, if you're curious about, independent scheduling, kind of like, live your life the way you want to live it, we're certainly able to clarify how this instrument, the binary options, with the indicators or technical analysis, study of charts, with the fundamental analysis, and this is where there is a bit of a sad note. Um, the sad note is that I had technical difficulties, but if we take a look on, okay, well, if we go to any economic calendar, we take a look, for example, on this week. We understand that on Wednesday there was a CPI. It was actually quite, it was, not really good. It was actually, the spike was massive. And yesterday, there were also, I was not on site. I was trying to do it from location, but technical difficulties also kept me from reaching out to you guys. But we're noticing that the USD, we had the PPI yesterday at 3:30 p.m. We have the CPI the day before on Wednesday, June 11th, also at 3:30 p.m. So if we go back, this is something that, once again, nobody can, I don't know, nobody can deny the fact that you have this opportunity. Where is it? There it is, right? There it is. There's the PPI, right? We see, right? So today, right, this was on the 12th. There we go. June 12th, 3:30. There you go. Read 'em and weep. Look at this beautiful, beautiful spike that's followed by what? Yes, it's followed by a retracement. The retracement, though, look, it was a bit of a retracement in the first minute, right? Usually this is something that's done in the first minute, but you can see that this one kind of carried over into the next one as well. And if we go back over the previous day, right, this is hardly something. There it is. There it is. This is the beautiful, beautiful CPI. I think that we started this particular stream. We did take a trade, though I lost somewhere here because of, my attention was divided through the technical issues. I did lose a bit here, but I did gain, back here. I'm back, actually it was $2,000 in profit back then, but nevertheless, the point is that there was a spike. We knew about it ahead of time. Right, look, we're seeing it right here, right? If I put the cursor on this candle vertical, there we go, 15:30, 6, 11th, 6th, right? So it's June 11th at, 3:30, 15:30, there it is. It was, really good. Actually, it's really interesting that, remember I told you that the previous Friday was the NFP, and I said that, wow, NFP was like 23 pips or something like that. So check it out. This one, if we take a look over here, 1432, the highest point at this candle right was around here, 14 69, right? So 32, and so what do you need to add in order for it to be 69? 37 pips, right? 37 pips. So usually the NFP is the bigger one, right? So usually if this was the case, I would have expected that the previous NFP, if I missed it, was like 50, 60 pips. But it was actually 23 or something like that. We did calculation, but so there was a spike, retracement, again a spike, a retracement, and a bit of a continuation before it retraced. CPI, it's an important, it's very important how we as consumers impact the price index, right? The cost of goods and services. So this is something that was very shocking, right? To see the statistic wasn't very good. It was all in the red. Lower than the previous month. Not only lower than the forecast, right? They expected higher, but it was lower. Not point 0.2 like the last month. It was point 0.1. So not only was it lower than the forecast, it was actually lower than the previous month, which is also something that we need to keep in mind. So same thing here, was lower than, this was supposed to be the same, but it was lower. It was supposed to be higher, but it was lower than the forecast. So anyways, not so good. That's why there was a pretty big spike. And PPI, right, it's actually, see, wait a second. Let's kind of take a look. See, this consumer price index, right, it's how consumers affect the price of goods and services. PPI, right, funny name, but whatever, right? PPI is producer price index. Basically, how producers are adjusting the price of goods and services based on the supply and demand principles. So it kind of goes from one side as consumers and the other side as producers. And both of these things will say that it's a leading indicator of consumer inflation, right? And if there's high inflation, that usually means that it leads to a raising of the interest rates. Now, as I mentioned, anybody who kind of goes through the stream right now, I can prove to you that market is not chaos. We are quite capable of showing this, but once again, not just, show, but to kind of clarify. If you're not, comfortable asking a question right now in chat, yeah, you certainly have an option to go through the Telegram link and talk to me one-on-one about your dreams and desires about how to make this work, how to make this work stable. Right, so PPI, let's see, PPI is nowhere near as popular as, CPI or NFP, but look, let's once again kind of put the cursor over here. We are looking at, there's how are we looking at, there we go. We're looking at, what is the value of this? I can't see, alright, so it's got like 90, 95, right? Yeah, 95. So 1595 and it went up to 1630. Wow. Alright, so 35 pips, right? So yeah, this was actually also kind of interesting that not as so if this is 1595, right? 5 pips it turns to 16, and then you add a 30, right? So you essentially understand that this was 35 pip movement. Now, in the real market, in Forex, this, we kind of calculated, right? We understood that euro dollar, depends on the current price. Euro dollar could be giving you approximately $9 to $10 worth of profit for every pip. Right, so if we're looking at 35 pips, we're potentially looking at $350 worth of profit in 1 minute with one standard lot. So it's also kind of a cool thing. Today we don't really have anything preliminary on consumer sentiment. Consumer sentiment, it's right. It's a survey about 420 consumers, which are asked basically to rate the relative level of current and future economic conditions. Basically, opinions of people. If people, this is why it's kind of important, because if me as consumer, my opinion is that my next paycheck is not secure, or I don't know, I'm not really feeling comfortable buying new patio furniture or new technology for my house, then this is not really, this is maybe going to be carried over not just by me, but by other people of my, I don't know, financial kind of like level, I guess, or status, economic status, and essentially means that I'm not going to be spending money. If I don't spend money, I don't, I don't stimulate the economy. But it's an opinion. It's not really something, I could be paranoid, right? And say, oh my God, no, the Big Brother is watching me, we got a foil hat on or something, right? So that's not really it. But anyways, what I'm trying to make is that even though this is labeled as a high impact event, it's kind of unlikely that it's going to move the market. That's why today, my dear friends, we're going to switch again to my favorite, the OTC. We're going to be doing it with euro dollar. We're going to kind of take a look at this together right now live to see if maybe we can, maybe spot some good entry points. And today we're going to be looking at an indicator that I find to be very, very helpful, ADX. Right now, ADX gives us an idea if there's going to be if it's in the middle of a trend. Right, so how do we spot? Okay, so we're looking at these three lines. We're like, what the hell is going on? It looks like spaghetti. But essentially, there is a percentage gauge right here on the side, right, and we're able to expand it a little bit. There it is. But the idea is it's very simple. Basically, the ADX line is the orange line, right? And if it goes up with a particular line, this one is actually supposed to be kind of like green. This one's supposed to be red. You know what? We can do that. We can alter that in styles. Turn this to green, turn this to red so it's a little bit more comprehensive, and we save. So check this out. Basically, when we see the ADX line climb above the 20%, right? 20% is over here, right? So you put the cursor and you're like, well, yeah, right here it was, started to go upwards to 23, 24. And you're like, huh, well, it's going up with the green line. Well, that means that there is a higher potential for a green candle than there is of the red. Obviously, right now it's going to be kind of mushing, going sideways a little bit. But this is something that's going to help us, right? Once again, here it kind of went above the 20. When it's above the 20, we generally kind of have a confirmation that you're in the middle of a trend. Now, again, I know that some of the topics were like now in the streams, I'm trying to keep it very general, because, don't want to confuse anybody and scare somebody away if they're just kind of happen to go on to the stream right now. But the idea is that we've talked about certain charts in Excel, and this is something that I've had this built in there. Wait, excuse me. I've had it built in there to kind of show you the growth, right? What is 10%, right? 10% is a particular amount of positions based on 1% from your balance, and certain steps of martingale, for example, to make sure that, you don't need ideal statistics to make money. So, we usually hunt, right? Me, Donald, and Henry, when we trade together, we actually, we go through, we take some of the OTCs, and we kind of go through several possibilities, right? And when we look for a big trend, right? So we've seen, right over here, it was actually higher than 20, right there. The ADX started climbing with the red line. It's been going up, and actually what we would have done in this situation is set a resistance level, right? We maybe actually set several resistance levels. And so there's, kind of like a 1, a 2, a 3-point contact. Kind of had a little bounce and continuation, but I think that I would have maybe taking a look, see, right about here, a little bit sooner than that, right? Right about here, we started to see that ADX is showing that it's going upwards, right? Above 20. So at that point, maybe I would have started to do some, I took the wrong line. There we go. This one, right? And look at this. We also have a 1, we have a 2, we kind of like almost reached there, not quite, and there's a 3. So when it broke through this level, see, right, this is why I can't live without support and resistance levels. Look how, I don't want to say the word predictable, but look how sexy this looks. Look how wonderful it looks. you have a two-point contact, right? So there we go. You were like, hey, there it is. It's kind of going down. There's, kind of came down here a little bit more. You just extend this line a little further. There we go. You just extend it across the bodies, right? Some people put it across the wicks. I enjoy putting it, I do, across the bodies. It's a minute candle, right? And what we're looking for is that when it breaks through, right, we got like a buy signal from shaft right here, though it actually went 3 candles downward before it started. We got a buy signal from parabolic here on this candle, so probably you started opening it here. So basically you would have lost like 2 candles, but with proper martingale, we understood that, there we go, on this candle there was a fractal that came up, said buy. So there's a bunch of buy signals in this, right? And when it broke through, what's the next point what's the next point of interest? It's just you took this line, you extended it, and you were like, hey, you know what? It's got a potential to reach this line. If it did this in one candle, so this is something that, that is possible once in a while, but it did so in kind of like tiny bunch of green candles, right? But if you open the position, right, if in this case, this candle closed in the money, and you started opening at the beginning, right, with the flag at the beginning of the candle and closing at the end, beginning to 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 end, you would have had, there we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, green candles in a row, and essentially 6 winning positions. You understood that once it reaches this line, the next level of interest, it's got potential for a retracement. So essentially, once it did reach, I probably would have stopped here. So essentially, I would have been like 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? But it did retrace. It kind of, once again, it broke through. And at this point, again, you have a, kind of a choice or kind of like an understanding. Where is it going to go? Right? And you also kind of go to, right there, right? I would have said, actually somewhere around here, that it would have started to resist, right? So a movement upwards right about here. It started to pull back a little bit sooner, but as you can see, it's breaking out right now. And when is the next levels of interest, right? Somewhere over here, right? Because, it's been sawing at this level for quite some time. So it all has like these kind of level points of interest. ADX right now is showing us that, man, yeah, like at this point, imagine if you rode this entire train. Alright, so started here. 1, in the money, 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 in the money. Third step martingale, in the money, right? So you still would have been in the green, actually, in profit. Good one. In the money, 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 in the money. Once again, 2 candle retracement, and we're expecting again, in the money, in the money, in the money. But notice the size of this movement in comparison to the other ones, right? So it took, kind of a long time to climb here. Here it took only 3 minutes to get up to a really decent level, a decent point. And at that point, yeah, there might be somebody interested in cashing out their profits, and there's some positions closing right now. Closing positions means a sell. And since this is OTC, this is what's happening right now in pocket option. Clients are pushing this up and down. Alright, so there we go. We got a fractal signal for a sell, and I would believe that, yeah, it should go down. Where it should go down, probably to like maybe somewhere around here. So, but we would need a bigger confirmation than just a fractal. Or at least for me. But the idea, once again, is that from this candle, 1557, or let's say 58, right, all the way up to here, let's say 58, to 16. So we're talking about like 18 minutes, right? So 70, there we go, yeah. So 18 minutes worth of, upward movement. This is the only thing that you will need for the days to catch a trend. Trend is your friend. So you set support and resistance levels. You check with other indicators like ADX to see if there is a high probability that it's going to continue to go upwards. Right? So did this peter out? I mean, that's it. Is this the point of reversal? We need to see a few more candles. Right, so if this particular candle goes down, to the point where it touches the parabolic and flips onto the other side, I would say that, yeah, I would probably be expecting shaft is going to round out probably at that point, and it's going to show you that, yeah, it's time to sell. Here it was a signal to buy, go a little bit sooner. Here was a signal to sell, and as you can see, it was a drop. Here is a signal to buy, and there was a rise. Here's a signal to sell. Well, enough said. Here's a signal to buy, right, for 2 candles. It did go upwards. I wouldn't say that this was a good signal to sell, but nevertheless, this is a good signal to buy, and as you can see, a couple of green candles there as well. So every indicator has a particular statistic, but what we need to understand, look, if you're following just this indicator, here's a sell till the end of the candle. Let's say that you caught it early enough that, you would have been in the money. Here, you would have been in the money. If you kind of took it here, I don't know, 50-50, let's say you lost. Second step martingale, you should have been in the money. Buying, in the money. Selling, I don't know, 50-50. Let's say you lost. Here, you lost. Right? Third step martingale right now based on the signals from one indicator. But if you started to buy here, right, we got 1, 2, 3, let's say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 signals over the course of what do we got? 14:30, 13, 1 hour, and pretty much 2 hours. 9 signals. Not really stellar. Not something that would keep you in front of computer, right? So if we, out of 9, if 5 of them were in the money, and we're looking at a balance, let's say of $100, and we're looking at 3-4% profit. It's not a lot if you have $100. It's a lot at the end of the month, but this might actually pressure you to take bigger positions, and this is not really something that, is advisable. But anyway, so we analyzed this a little bit. So yeah, and okay, so I got another sell signal. We're coming closer to the parabolic. Actually, you know what? Let's open a position there for, or let's get ready to open a position for a sell. But yeah, so it did reach a particular level. It's sawing at it right now. So right here, I don't know, we got it in the past somewhere around this area, right? So there we go. It kind of faced a bounce, a resistance. Also somewhere, well, there was this possibility for a level of resistance. So we're seeing right now, though, we're still seeing the ADX. Well, the candles should be actually getting smaller, the green ones. But the momentum is still pretty impressive. Actually, we could establish a support level here. Let's take a look at if we got it. There it is, right? We got a 1. Kind of, it's not an exact science. There we go. We gave a couple of pips worth of movement. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3, and it's approaching this level. I do believe that it should be going down any moment now. Fractal said that there was going to, right? We tried to do. Oh goodness, actually, wait a second. We did do fractal, right? We understood that fractal on this candle it says sell, so obviously you would have been out of money on this. On this candle it said sell. Well, it was kind of small. We're talking about 95.28 and 90. Well, yeah, this is in terms of pipettes, not even a full pip difference between here. It's still 28, right? 95.28. So keeping that in mind, even though it's going sideways, it's approaching this level. So in approximately 40 seconds, we are going to find out if the market is going to bounce and continue to go upwards. And if it does go upwards, this is going to be the next level of interest. So it might not go up a lot. But if it breaks through here, then, we kind of look at the slightly higher, possibilities. But then we're looking all the way up to here. Alright, 17 seconds, so bear with me while we're waiting. As I mentioned again, chats are open. Chats are open. If you're shy, don't want to be open, kind of asking questions publicly for everybody, reach out to Telegram, ask them to me personally, one-on-one. We will clarify any thoughts, questions. There we go. We got a sell position. Let's, and of course I didn't update because that's, usually what I do. Alright, but we move on. We usually, I usually do the multiplier of 1.5. So we're seeing at the end of this candle in 40 seconds, this should be kind of possibility. On this candle, we had a fractal come up saying that it's going to be going down. On this candle, we had parabolic that switched from the bottom to the top. And I'm expecting a shaft to round out any second now. All right, any second now. All right, so let's keep an eye out on this. And there it is. That's exactly what I was saying. All right, exactly what I was saying. So there we go. This, so now we're expecting perhaps a slightly longer downward movement. All right, next minute we choose. So in about 35 seconds, this candle is over. Will be end. But you know what? Let me open until the end of that. All right, we're gonna take it a little bit sooner than usually. I usually like to wait until the candle is over, to open right at the beginning. But we are seeing, three, possibly four red candles in a row. Shaft said sell, and we do have a breakout strategy in effect. So one, we got two, we got three, on the fourth one is breaking through, so we should expect several or red candles to follow in a row. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, no, so it actually did good. I opened for the following candle, not in this candle. So I did goof up a little bit here as well. So the signal is good, just once again, my timing. Sometimes it's a little bit off. But once again, this is what I'm teaching you guys, is that if you're looking to open like 4-5 trades per hour, it's psychologically different. It is a little bit more difficult to stick to a plan, to not lose your marbles, so to speak. But when I talk about a trend is your friend mentality, right? So if we catch, a one, a two, and then we understand that there was like a rising negative trend, we understand we set support and resistance, and every time it bounces away from this level, we keep selling, or when it breaks through, we buy. All right, that's the thing. So if you bought here, starting at the start of the candle and then finishing at the end, starting at the start, finishing at the end, starting start, you would have made your 15, 10, like 10, 15% here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16. There we go, 16 candles. I mean, that's about like 13, 12, 13%. Actually, we're about 15, because on the third step martingale, you actually get more money per position versus, when you do it on the first. So on the first, $1, you get 92 cents. On the second one with the $1.50, you get like 38. But with on the third step, you get like 95, not 92, but 95 cents per dollar. So there it is. There it is. So I do expect a bit of it now. Actually, what I would do is I would start a possible level of resistance. All right. So if it goes up a little bit, this would be like a really nice point of where it bounces away and goes down a bit. But notice that we are, kind of losing the momentum. The ADX is coming down, and there is no, there's no direction. So you got a couple of trades out of this. Then that's it. You go to the next one. You keep looking. All right, so what do we got here? We got also several potential points, right? So we got kind of like a 1 and a 2 here. Wow, we actually got like a really, beautiful kind of situation going here. I don't know. So if we drew something like this, we got a 1. It's very aggressive. Drop, a little rise, drop, a little rise, drop, and a breakthrough, right? But while the parabolic was, above, you kept selling. ADX over here from about this point right here, right, 22, started to go up. And there we go. So you would have bought in the money, in the money, in the money, in the money, in the money. Fourth step, right here. Fourth step, actually, I'm sorry, third step, right? So lose in the money, lose in the money, and here it's a breakout. So on this candle, you already started to buy. If you start to buy, if there's a breakout strategy, then we kind of look and we understand that while it's above this line now, it should be going up. There was a false breakout, right? On this candle it went down, on this candle it came back up, but here it broke out as well. Right, so nobody's rushing. You don't think that you need to be opening, selling your house, your car, your cat, your kidney. Lots of K's over here, right? And lots of C's, actually. All right, but the point is that once there is a breakout strategy, we expect retracement, a trend. Once it breaks through here, once again, we also expect this no longer be valid and continue to go downward. So in this case, it's kind of beautiful because it's so aggressive. So aggressively goes up, right? Went down kind of hard, kind of here we kind of saw this level, but we actually have a pullback. So this kind of like a second point down, kind of went sideways but touched. That's your third point down, and finally broke out. So in this case, here I would have expected to go a little bit higher, but this is where it gave us a little slip and went sideways for a bit before continuing to go higher. Right, so right now I am expecting this to go up, but look, we actually have kind of like an asymmetrical double bottom, and if it goes up, kind of the next level of interest would be somewhere here at the third point, and at which point, if it does go high, a little bit higher, one more candle, it touches this point, it does have potential to break through this. Where is it going to go next? Right, if it breaks through here, it's got next point of interest is going to be this level right there. So if it's going to go down in one, candle, then, you might want to wait. But if it goes down, kind of in several, just keep selling until it touches. And at that point, maybe say, slow down. Let's see what the market does next. All right, so we got the asymmetrical double bottom, which kind of, implies that there might be a a top breakout. But this is why this level is also very interesting, because it could actually go again, down and up once more, and it would be called, a triple bottom. So triple bottom, triple tops, double bottoms, so certain patterns, ascending, descending, flags, pennants. All of this is something that you can just type into Forex patterns and keep an eye out on this, and it just comes with experience where you're able to spot one just like this. All right, so let's see, what do we got here? What do we got? We got what we do have is the shaft is on top. It might be rounding out right now, but it actually, we could still see, as I mentioned, that there's still potential. So we got 1, we got 2, we got 3, possibly a 4, but this is stretching the truth a little bit because it's so aggressively. So not the ideal situation to be analyzing, but nevertheless, it's still something that's decent. All right, so what do we got here? Here we have a second point contact, possibly, but it's still going downward, right? Though we see now a kind of potential for an higher upward movement, where we still are looking for a second point contact. At this moment, it's this, and we just stretch it out further. So if it bounces down and continues, there we go. Fractal says that it should be going down, though with shaft being here, 29%, though I don't really see any, rising in momentum. So, we are maybe looking at the right second point contact before it goes down sideways, perhaps to touch this level once more. So again, here we're also kind of looking, we're also at the brink, right? At the brink of a possible good opportunity. So far, the fact is that shaft is on top, that we've been seeing a very aggressive movement. We have already a sell signal from fractal 2. We do have a possible 1, 2, third point contact, and I would love to see it go up just one more candle, or maybe even 2, to be green, and the next one green as well, because at that point right here, it's a pinching factor. We got a generally, a particular point, the new set of a highest low, the new point of a highest low, so all pointing that there should be a downward trend, coming up soon. right? Just actually, I would say just because this damn so aggressive, right? So if it breaks out, I mean, this is just what what we're expecting. But look, we got the green line alongside with the ADX that's kind of pointing upwards right now above 20, and it could break out, right? So if it does break out, we're kind of looking at this level would be the next level of interest, and then the next level of interest would be higher here. But I would still wait for another candle and another candle because honestly, I am expecting that this particular aggressive growth cannot last forever. So I would much rather wait for a breakout strategy, and it would be so freaking cool if on this candle, see, it did close outside, but it would be cool if on this candle it went back inside, and that's it, that it broke through, it went down, it went under. Because at that point, shaft would round out. At that point, maybe another fractal would come up. At that point, parabolic would switch to the top. And we would have a breakout strategy, which means that then at that point, we're looking for a relatively big downward movement to this level, next level of interest. So, but we'll see in the next 30 seconds, we should kind of get an idea. So far, this is what we call a false breakout, when it closes outside of a line on one candle, but on the next one, it goes back under. All right, so the level is good. All right, we're not really changing anything yet. The level is good. We're just like, as I mentioned, I'm believing, right, in the fact that there is going to be a breakout strategy coming up soon, but we'll see. In the next 4 seconds, next candle would actually give us a bit more clarification what the asset is going to be doing. We got Fractal saying that's it, start selling. That on the next candle, right, this red candle said that shown us a fractal 2 sell signal. Though I do see that ADX is kind of building still, right? It's going even higher. We started, it was like around 20, 22, 23, right about here, right? So in 2 candles, it rose even further, so there is a potential for a continuation, but I guess in 30 seconds we'll find out. This right here is not yet a confirmed level of resistance. So if we kind of zoom out, I don't know, if we take a look in the past couple of hours, it's been a high move upwards. And for the past couple of hours, this was the highest point. So again, in the next 10 seconds, when this candle closes, as I mentioned, I do think that it should go down, but we'll see what the guys, we'll see what pocket option clients are doing. So alright, I guess I would need to wait another minute. Actually, let's make sure that we're on the up and up with this. Right, because we'll take advantage together, right? So we won, oh, what the hell, 29 cents? Oh, wow, that was a ridiculous, wow, that's a what the hell? I didn't even see the profitability. Wow, that was so not worth it. Alright, screw this. For some reason, I thought it was on the when we were choosing 92%, but somehow they changed it, they updated it. Maybe the volume of people dropped down pretty aggressive. All right, so let's go back here. So let's see. There we go. It is testing this period, and so ADX has been rising. That's what was giving me a bit of a pause, but now I am more certain. Wait a second, and we did win the past 2, so this one should be $10. There we go. So it should be going down, but it seems like it's kind of like sawing this particular level for a little bit. So let's just give it a bit more time, because it looks like we're kind of confirming this level. So if it pushes down any further, we should see the parabolic switch to the top, and at that point I'll be looking for shaft to confirm for another candle or 2. Right, so if you got, everything should be based on your statistics. So if you have, let's say, 90%, well, I don't know how to say 90% success rate. Let's say, out of 2, 3 hours worth of sitting in front of computer, for example, if you got those 10 positions and 9 of them are in the money, then you know what? I would say that go for, stick to what you're doing, because at that point, just make sure that the investment is a little bigger, and get in the money. All right, so we lost this one. Next position, I think I kind of took it a little bit slow. There we go. All right, and so this is what it's about. If you're trading 15, 20 signals, if you're looking for a particular currency pair that's been going up for a while or going down for a while. You set those support resistance. You're looking at ADX. You're looking at, different indicators like alligator or parabolic, to confirm that yes, there is a possibility of a trend that's going to be going down for like 15, 20 minutes. Then yeah, that's it. I mean, you've just with 1%, 1%, 1%, and you're going to manage to hit your 15, 10, 15% in like half an hour. Bam. And that's it. You're done for the day. You don't need to sit in front of the computer for hours, right? Because certain people are looking for, um, 10, 15, 25. Yeah, we'll go to 50. Next candle, right? There we go. Because, certain people are looking, to have a pullback, right? To have a specific kind of signals from specific kind of indicators, and for them to all line up, you might need to wait a while, which is not really a problem if you're sitting at home, I don't know, playing your PlayStation 5 or something, or just somewhere in the moment, I don't know, dreaming, just looking a little bit at your signals with a nice delicious cup of coffee or something. So, oh, look at that. Wait a second. We got a switch, right? We got a switch. Wow. Okay, so we got 75. Okay, so we got 150 for the next one. And I would say, can I buy here? Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna lose bad. I screwed up. I should have waited for the next minute. All right, see, we got it. Okay, so wait, what did I do? I lost 150. I won. All right, so I need to make up 100. All right, let's go with 150 still. This, no, next candle. All right, let's wait and see because we got kind of an interesting thing happening here. So I don't know if this is something that we could say as a pullback, and this is being a breakout. A little bit soon for my liking, but I think that. Wow, I mean that's kind of interesting. Usually parabolic doesn't switch like yo-yoing. See, it does go bam, bam, continue. So I'm actually kind of thinking that yeah, man, that should be kind of looking like a buy opportunity. But look, it's got a sell opportunity again. All right, let's continue with this. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's go big. Let's go big. I mean, sometimes you got to put on your big boy pants and go with the signals. All right. So the signals right now, once again, I'm seeing that it is kind of like sawing at this level. I still believe that at this point it should go down further. We got this upward trend for a while. We have a breakout, but I guess the pocket option clients are doing something different right now. So at this point, I think that I'm going to stop. If I lose this position, uh, I am going to stop, yeah, trading with hundreds, because at that point I would need to go into a couple of thousand, and that's kind of that realm where it would be super, stressful and scary. So I don't like to trade that way. Alright, I don't like to trade that way, but it looks like we're in the money. There we go. We're back in the green. Alright, so next candle here, right? We can go for 10 bucks as usually. Okay, and no. Okay, so it is going down. Now it does have flow. It does have confirmation. There we go. So we could say that, the next couple of, candles should be red as well. There could, but, see with these big wicks, something that, yeah, a bit scary and a bit confusing. Here, parabolic went to the top. It went down for one candle. It went up again. Next position would be for 15 bucks. Next candle. Waiting. We'll see. Where's the next point of interest? Yes, it's this line right here. Right? So let's hopefully everybody else is seeing this. But yeah, there's something about the volatility of this particular asset is not making me very comfortable. So yeah, I would be looking for, just like I'm, telling you guys that there's not one way to skin the cat, as awful as that saying is, right? There is, relatively one kind of false breakout, two third point contact right now. Seems like it's breaking through. So there are ways to, there we go. There we go. We got this. Let's see. I would probably, I don't know, I could put on this horizontal line. Look, it's got a nice, 1, 2, 3 possible, all right, possible fourth point right now. Look, we got ADX that's kind of starting to rise, but it really shows that there's no particular trend. Um, if we just, kind of continue with like a little historical lesson here. Actually, you know what, let's get rid of this horizontal line. Right, if we go with a little historical kind of relevance here, right, we got like 1, we got 2, we got, false breakout 3, 4, 5, false breakout 6, 7, 8, and on finally on the ninth time it broke through. Honestly, I would have expected a much bigger move. But if we take a look into the past, we see, yeah, that, I was, at this point, I probably would have expected quite a few, much bigger. Like after this, there should be a continuation. But as you see, it was not the case. That's why you can never really invest 100% of your balance because there's never really 100% guarantee. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the fifth time it broke through, also kind of small, not really feeling it. But so what would we usually do? We usually look for uh, possibilities. And there we go. Look, we actually have this 1, 2, kind of 3, 4. And if this goes up a little bit higher right now, I'd actually believe that the ADX, if it climbs over 20, it's kind of like an additional confirmation that, yeah, there's a trend that we should be considering. But we got parabolic down here, showing down. We got shafts, at this candle right here saying that it should be a sell as well. So I don't know. In this case, we are looking at an upward trend that's meeting a downward. We do have another interesting indicator called zigzag. Yeah, sometimes it's able to give us that 1, 2, 3, and usually let's say a triple top. That's a bearish. That's a bearish signal right here. I would have sold because we got a confirmation from shaft. We got a confirmation from parabolic. That was as good as it gets, right? So 1, 2, 3, and there's that neckline. So on this somewhere here, yeah, I would have been selling. What else? I mean, I was thinking that I was seeing a head and shoulder pattern, but that means that somewhere here, this would have been the neckline, and if it went down, it would have went down possibly huge. But what I did notice that in head and shoulder pattern, there is that potential that it does this little thing and then it comes, breaks through and it goes down on the low side very, very hard. Let's see. So wait, did we win our previous? Yes, we did. Yeah, we did. We didn't have such a bad day today, all right? We won penance. Here we did, I did a little goof. But it came back in the end, and we're, in relatively decent profit. So $10. Next candle, and let's ride this train a little bit. And I don't know if anybody's, kind of seeing, where's the next point of interest. I would say that's somewhere here, if it's going to go down. Oh, why did it go to 0, not 0, 0? There we go. All right, and so the next kind of like points of interest, probably somewhere here, right? This is kind of going upwards a bit, very gently, but it did break through, so we are expecting a downward movement, perhaps to somewhere here first, and if it breaks through after that, then perhaps to even lower previous points of interest. So let's see what it does. It seems like it's building momentum, but it's still at like 18%, so it's nothing significant, right? It should be above 20 where it's noticeable to be in profit, right? So 2, 1, I don't know, there we go, in the money. 10, next minute. Right now, I showed you this particular, not necessarily technique, but understanding, and in tournaments. right? That there is this, to open the trade every single minute. ADX seems to be building steam, right? There it is. It's at 20, it's at like 19% right now. So, uh, but what makes me kind of nervous is that previous kind of tendencies that it is going, up and down. Sell signal, buy signal, sell signal, buy signal, sell signal, buy signal, right? So there's a lot of signals from shaft. And here, longest that it's been going down, right, is actually kind of short. Right, so I'm seeing this right now, and I'm seeing, how long will this drop be? So, seems like we should be in the money, right? Did we choose the next minute? There we go. And as soon as 3, 2, 1, I'll sell right now. Okay, so we made our money. We go to the next minute. All right. ADX is building. There it is. It's now at 21%. So we do have kind of confirmation that this has potential to keep going lower. So let's see if we can maybe set up a level of resistance. This is very aggressive again. I wouldn't even know, maybe even from this one or something. Actually, it's so aggressive that I think I would want to keep it off for just a bit. Alright, so let's see what it does, right? 15, right, we got 20 seconds. I don't know, we'd see, might be losing this one, so we load up second step martingale just in case. We wait. Alright, and alright, we're looking at ADX. Today's, whole purpose of this stream is to kind of give you a little bit. Alright, so it's rising. There we go. It's rising. Let's go back to 10. Next minute open. Alright, seems okay, so after every drop there tends to be a bit of a retracement, and that's normal. It would actually be weird if it wasn't. Because what is a retracement? It's people cashing out. Alright, so we're going to be very careful with our investment. It seems like we should be in the money now, so we're riding this trade, but the distance between, right? Notice also how parabolic. So when the asset comes close to parabolic, that's usually kind of means that hey, the time has come. All right, so there we go. There might be a retracement. All right, so we should be losing this position. Let's choose the next minute. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. I'm going to open ours. So we got a fractal that says upward movement. And we do have ADX that petered out. So at this point, next position is 50 bucks. Maybe the following minute, but we'll see what the asset does. Because at this point, there could be a reversal, right? So we're looking at kind of halting, right, based on ADX. It didn't really rise very, very efficiently. So as I mentioned, we maybe are looking for just a retracement point. There it is, kind of like this. If it's going to continue to go down, we're going to make our money back and still be a bit in profit. So, and at that point, yeah, I'm going to be closing. All right, so following candle. Wait a second. Did I goof up again? When my wife keeps saying that I can't walk and talk at the same time, I have to give 100% focus to one or the other. No, we should be good. All right, so 10 bucks, and let's continue to ride this train. Though I don't think that it's going to ride any further. I think that actually reached that point. Look, it's actually sawing a particular level. So I think that this is where we might, stop. Look, we got parabolic. That's if this candle closes any closer to parabolic, we're actually going to see confirmation from other indicators that maybe this is the reversal point, and is going to continue to go upwards. All right. So see, I told you that there it is, right? The previous points where it bounced away. That if it's going to go down, we need to be careful, at this point to see, what it does. So in the next 10 seconds, yes, it does have potential to break down and continue to go lower, but actually at that point, I think that I would wait. There we go, open for another retracement. So let's see. Yeah, so there could be this point right now where there's going to be a retracement and a start of a new trend, because it's if it bounces away, so we're gonna have like one, we're gonna have two, and well, it looks like we might have third point contact right here. So I think at this point I would wait for a couple of minutes to see what the asset, what the market will do, what the asset will be doing, and make my decision to continue or not. If this was kind of like a head, I mean, a shoulder, head, shoulder, and actually it usually goes like this, kind of like up, 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 down, up higher, then up higher to the same about level right here, which it almost did. Um, Usually the move is actually quite big. Yeah, so at this point, I'm going to wait a little bit. Alright, let's go to the other ones. Okay, let's see if maybe we can spot like a relatively... I know that this was the point where we started the stream right about here, but yeah, there was actually a really beautiful long downward move. Let's get rid of zigzag and let's get busy with our support and resistance levels, baby. Alright. So what do we got? We got like a 1, we got massive drops, kind of like the second point contact, massive drop, kind of like a third. I mean, we could essentially play it like this. Third, and on the fourth one, it broke through. If it breaks through, if there's a breakout strategy, we take a 2-point contact and we just extend it and we keep riding this train until it breaks through. And at that point, we establish a different support or resistance level, in this case like this. Alright, then we watch. We go 1, there's the 2, and there's almost 3, and almost 4. It touched, kind of like rebound and broke through, and guess what? Right now we're looking at a different potential for an upward movement. But this is what would get me very, not very excited, right? So we're looking at something in comparison to this, right? Look how quickly, aggressively it's been rising, 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 rising. And here it started to peter out, right? So there was a buy signal here. This rounded out. At that point, would have said that, you know what, maybe for today, that is enough. All right, and again, my dear friends, I want to remind you that chats are open. Telegram chats are open. One-on-one, you're able to talk to me. So just see if about, putting some thoughts together, right? You can ask me about anything, about fundamental analysis, just like we've proven today. We've gotten this, right? So we understand that there is a massive potential in knowing about these things ahead of time. There it spiked here, he opened for 50 bucks. You've seen that it went up higher. He opened for 100 bucks for a minute retracement, for a timer. It would have carried you over into the next minute, you would have made your money. Alright, so this isn't something that is a one-time thing. It's a repetitive factor. Spike, retracement, continuation, retracement. Alright, so in the real market, in the OTC, you are able to, capitalize on these. Oh, alright. Alright, so wait a second, Man, we were here, Euro ruble for a while, right? But man, did you see? Okay, so wait. Here we're still following this particular negative trend. We got 1, we got 2, we kind of stretching a third point. There is a breakout. Actually, if there was a good head and shoulder pattern, I would say that the breakout would have been, if it broke down on the bottom side, it would have gone down for much further. But look again, this is exactly what I was talking about. 1, 2, 3. It did retrace. This does count as a retracement. And then at that point, there was a breakout. If there is a breakout, there's going to be a much more green candles than red. So there was a spike. Considering that this is the highest point, probably since, where is it? It's right here at this line right now. So it is going to go up probably to this point before retracing. If it didn't do so already, let's see. I mean, let's kind of take a look into the past. There we go, right? So if it's going to go up, oh, it did, right? So there's this point, so there was see, the wick is bigger, so It did go up above this line, the highest point since 6 o'clock in the morning for me, and it is retracing right now as well. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm very, very excited that things are turning out the way they are. You know, that I am showing you that this works. We're making money together right now. In live factor, there was this, you know, kind of a moment where the market did a bit, but unusual things. And I think it was right over here, right, where we were expecting it to go down, but it was kind of bouncing back and forth here. All right, let's take a look. CHFJPY. 89% is still good enough. I would say, oh, wait a second, not that. Let's delete this. Um, Trend line. Actually, what I wanted to do is delete everything. And then trend line. There we go. So we're watching a particular trend. There it is, trend line 1, 2. Well, we got a third bounce back and a breakout. You know, now that it's breaking out, we are looking at a confirming. There we go. Alright, so well, I don't know. Right now it could actually, you know, go bounce under because of shaft being here, parabolic almost being touched. So nope, not something that I would be ready yet to commit to. Though we do have a relatively decent support resistance level at this point. Alright, so how are we going to play this? Well, I think that we could still play this as a second point contact. But ADX is like really low. I mean, I'm not really seeing a trend here. Alright, so since it's 88, let's close it out. Let's take a look at AUD. Alright, what do we got here? We did build this up a little bit, right? So a resistance level turned into a support level, turned into a resistance level. It's turning right down to support level and is breaking out, right? So let's open the position here. Of course. Let's open the position for a sell. If I just done that a second sooner. Alright, let's take a look where it takes us. Alright, we are able to look at a breakout. Alright, since this has been broken through, right, we're able to adjust it a little bit to maybe see if there is something else at play here. Yeah. Alright, and this was potential. See, we can't really say that yes it bounced, yes it bounced, yes it bounced, and then the fourth one it broke through. This is more like 1 point contact. It's not something. Wait, did we win? Yes, we did. Okay. This is not really something that's valid. Alright, so for now, I would say that while it's below this line, it's a level of interest. 1, 2, 3, 4 broke through. We got, we got what we needed out of this particular one. So now we're looking at a possible second point contact. So we would see how long. See, right now we still have a sell signal. You know what? Let's open. Let's open the position for a sell signal. But I'm looking for a second point contact for support. So if it's going to be here, it's okay that I lose this one because, as I mentioned, I still believe that it's, the pinching factor, the downward trend that's been lasting for a while, it's now meeting a upward trend right now. Alright, so let's see. We got a shaft saying, we got shaft saying that it's a sell. We got parabolic on top. We got ADX that's a bupkis, right? It's lower than 20%, so there's not really going to be a trend here. That's why I'm not really, after this $15, if I lose this 15 bucks, I'm not going to open another position. Or at least not with this asset. So let's take a look of, there was a beautiful one here, right? Wait a second, let's actually draw this out, right? We got a beautiful resistance level. Let's see. There it is. It might be, confirming this again. I would say that maybe we could have seen a little bit more aggressive drop. But not really, right? Look, we got one, we got kind of two, but yeah, so that's not really it. But either way you slice it, we have this. So right now it is a good, let's see, what was the previous trade? We didn't win that one either. So for 50, all right, here, and again, see, it's not really something that's going to be for many positions, maybe for one. So for 50 bucks, all right, we got one, we got two, we possibly got three, and right here. So in the next couple of minutes, we should see a result. After 25 seconds, we should see where this candle closes. If it breaks on top, it should continue to go up, but if it breaks on the bottom, it could go down a bit further. Though I would love a confirmation instead of just a breakout. I would love a confirmation from parabolic and maybe something else. But the fact is that the ADX is so closed right now. We could kind of like saying that alligator mouth is, when it's closed for a while, it means that when it opens, it's got some uh, serious potential. Right, so too soon, in my opinion, to take any position because it could have just taken a little bit like this, right? So we got one, we got two, we kind of got three. There's a fourth that's touching, but it could go back down. Oh, but it is pointing upwards, so all right, let's take a position, go for a higher, and this one will be for 150 if we need to. So ADX though is still at the line itself. See, we got the green that's pointing up. It should be going higher, but ADX is still kind of on the low side. So I'm hoping that it will start rising with, 20, 30, there we go, higher, higher, higher. All right, we got our 10. But, so today's lesson is about, kind of figuring out when there is that potential for a reversal. So we're looking at different indicators and there was a resistance level, and then all of a sudden it broke through, but then it came back down and started to rise there's a sell signal right here, there's parabolic, there's fractal, there's shaft, and then there is the ADX that's also pointing out. This is what we're looking for this period of time, right? 14, well, essentially 10 minutes before we started streaming, and all the way up to like 13, 15 minutes later, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Wait, what am I missing? All right, so wait a second. 10 minutes before we started till about here. Ah, yeah, well, 22 minutes. There we go. I did mean, yeah, it's been a long day. So yeah, for 22 minutes, there it is. Then you've done your 10, 15%. So 20, 30 minutes of your time of picking the right asset, checking with the right indicators, right? To see if there is a trend, to see if there's, continuation, and just riding that train. Euro, ooh, 92%, or let's take a look what we got. And I think that what we got is something really pretty. Maybe not from this point, but from this point, right? 3-point contact. Kind of like a false breakout, 1, 2, but I do believe it should go down. And see, ADX again is kind of closed. So what we're looking for is a rising ADX. Okay, so there is a possibility here, AED right? Okay, let's see. While it is building, it is going up with it. It's above 20. There is a buy signal from parabolic. I don't know, should we go? The last one was in the money. Right, 10. What's the time? I don't know. I don't know. I think I would want to wait. This would have been like a really good believable thing, but we could also, kind of have it like this. Still an upward movement, a buy signal at this candle, right, at this one right here. And it seems like it is going up. Though ADX is not really showing anything stellar. It's kind of still staying in one spot. It's not really rising. And we got a potential for a red candle to take the lead, right? Or a bearish movement. There we go. We got fractal. We got 1, 2, 3 possible, kind of an idea that it is. Let's technically need to start here. 1, 2. This would go up for a couple of candles and then break on the low side would be even better. All right. All right, my dear friends, I don't know. We made some money today. Friday, technical analysis. Friday markets are going to sleep. All right, let's kind of get this on a big screen. All right, markets are going to sleep on Fridays just like on Mondays. They're waking up. But it is an interesting thing that I want you to notice in the real market, there is such a thing as called pending orders, right? We've got this here on the platform, but you could use this even in the OTCs. But there is limited liquidity available in the real market trading, even if the session is closed. So you are going to be able to say that, hey, as soon as it opens, I'm going to, I'm going to open a position for a buy, going to go long, or for a sell, go short. And as soon as Monday, when the session opens up on Monday, there usually is a very aggressive movement, something that you can also take advantage of, make some money. But it's very fast. So, there is technical trading available right now for our pocket option traders with the OTC. Put the things that I said to good use. All right, and summarizing today's lesson is that you're picking the right several currency pairs, and you just take a look. You open one at 92% OTC, and you say, hey, it's been going down for like 2 hours. Whoa, that really means that at a certain point it's going to start going back up. If it goes back up, what are the levels of interest? Boom, boom, boom. You kind of look at the past, see where the market was, certain like levels that it was sawing through that. And at that point you look at other indicators like ADX, like parabolic, like shaft. That's a shaft usually says that the trend is over, but it's a short version. So even if the downward movement was long, it could say that, hey, this upward trend is over, sell, and that's a good trend is your friend. But it could also say, hey, this negative movement is over as well. There should be a reversal. You can still make some money on that, and so on. So it does show you when these kind of like short bursts are over. And ADX over the long term, right? We understand that. Let's actually take a look one more time. We understand that as soon as the ADX line rises above 20, we kind of have a potential, kind of a confirmation that there is a negative trend. In this case, negative trend goes up with the red line versus, when it goes up with the green line. But that's what you're looking for, right? So, confirmation, and you keep riding this train. So right now, in this case, if you guys want to continue, I can tell you that AUD, CHF, OTC have given you a signal, all right, that while it's above this line, it's going to continue to go above this line, but at some point, it is going to go sideways or even down, and once it breaks through this particular level of support, you should be able to catch a train and every single minute open a few positions with proper money management and get your money. Get your money. Pocket option link is below as well. If you're interested in what we're discussing, touch base with me in Telegram. It's very important because through the link in the below, you are able to we are able to discuss ensuring your trading against negative results. All right, so I'm actually able to do, kind of like it's a VIP program, where I'm able to do even more than the company itself, right? More than pocket option. So let's take a, keep an eye out on this. Know that we're here to assist and help you understand how this system works and how within the system you're able to make money. Take a look at previous videos. You'll see that, well, we make money every single time. This, the graph is live and it's not pre-recorded, right? So if you click on the link right now, you don't even need to deposit. You can, trade with the demo account. But if you make a small deposit, don't trade with it. But because you're going to have open free tournament participations. and on daily basis you'll be able to put money into your account completely risk-free. Talk to me about how to, how to finalize this thought, the idea, and I will see you guys next week. So thank you so much for being with me. If you saw some of this or you saw all of it like Henry and Donald, as they usually do, reach out in Telegram. I'm going to see you guys later.